What's going on, everyone? Derek Spallone here of Spallone Sports. We are glad to be joined by a special guest, NBA legend, Dr. J. Julius Erving. Julius, how are you today?
I'm fine. Got a lot of stuff to sign before flying back to Atlanta, but my trip to Chicago has been good. It's always nice coming here. You know, I came in with the big three, and I coached a team called Tri-State, as you can see over here. And we lost the game, but hopefully we won't lose the war.
Yeah,
Yeah.
A busy few days.
Busy few days, yeah, especially with this card show today, and we're knocking it down.
We were out there. It looked like a big line. Still a lot of avid Dr. J fans out there and supporters. Was there a specific piece of memorabilia you encountered today that brought back some memories for you?
Well, for me, I usually don't look at it that way.
Gotcha.
You know, there's a certain amount of time that we're in front of the public, and always interesting is someone has created their own piece of memorabilia, usually in the form of an artwork, a drawing from my ABA days or the NBA days. And so with the ABA, you got the Virginia Squires, and you got, you know, the New York Nets, and with the NBA, you got the Sixers. So, you know, so there's a lot of stuff to choose from. I saw one piece that was particularly interesting, and the guy, you know, wanted me to sign it in my afro.
Oh, okay.
So with a silver pen, and you know, I looked at it after it was done, and it came out pretty good.
That's awesome, and it's funny you bring up the afro because I got to tell you a story. So in 6th grade, I actually did a report on you. So I actually had to wear an afro as part of my presentation, and the topic was the art of the slam dunk. So I talked about how you revolutionized the game in the art of the slam dunk. So Julius, can you take me through the art of the slam dunk and the first time that you recall slam dunking?
Yeah, well, you know, when I was in really elementary school, you know, we had like an 8-foot basket, and then a 9-foot basket, and so it was a progression to get to the 10-foot basket.
Right.
So by the time I got to a 10-foot basket, you know, I perfected a lot of, you know, movements and different ways to throw the ball down in the hoop. You know, starting with tennis balls, and then soccer balls, then eventually basketballs, and you know, having big hands has a lot to do with, you know, taking what we did on an 8-foot basket to a 10-foot basket.
Right.
And obviously, leaping ability and landing ability. So as an art form, I would think that, you know, you take the blank canvas and you start to you know, use your imagination first, but it would help to have jumping ability, landing ability, big hands, and a vivid imagination.
Yeah, I can't go wrong with that. That's perfect right on that.
Right.
And many major accomplishments throughout the course of your legendary Hall of Fame career. But when you reflect back on your journey and all you've been blessed to accomplish, what would you say has been the biggest life lesson you've learned from those experiences?
Not to take it too seriously. You know, I mean, you know, the small things that happen in life you can't worry about because it's all small compared to, you know, the life or death struggle and the journey to, you know, really feeling like, you know, you are fulfilling your destiny spiritually, emotionally, physically, mentally. And the sports career is a blessing. I mean, I was gifted with having the ability to, you know, kind of not disrupt, but just kind of at age 21, get put in a position for the next 16 years where, you know, I had sort of a surreal experience.
Right.
You know, that was different than what the average guy has, and that was a blessing. And then suddenly it was over, and now it's been over for 30 plus years.
It's crazy to think, right?
So the real world existence, I think, is the last 30 plus years, more so than that time when I was an ABA or an NBA player, and more so the time when I was a child, you know, before then, where I was, you know, under the guidance of, you know, my parents and my relatives and my siblings. So the real world experience in the last 31 years. It's been great, and I have learned a lot, and I try to share it when I can.
And paving that way from the ABA to the NBA, did you feel that there as well? Because I feel like you broke it through and allowed that paved the way for like the future generations.
Well, I think a lot of the ABA stuff kind of see definitely in today's game, the three-point line, the three referees, wider lane, so they were ABA innovations, and they exist and they thrive in today's NBA because the three-point shot is such a weapon. And there's some teams, from an analytical standpoint, feel that that's what they have to do to win. They have to take more threes and make more threes than the other team. But basketball fundamentally is, defense and rebounding, offensive and defensive rebounding, and taking high percentage shots. So if you have players who are in sync with one another who take high percentage shots, I think they could beat the long-range bombers.
We got to let you go momentarily here, but I have to ask. Michael Jordan entered the league in '85. Of course, we're here in Chicago. Do you have any memorable matchup stories with Michael Jordan and the Bulls during that time before then of your career in '87?
We do. It was always great to play the Bulls. I mean, I think we kind of caught them before they became the dominant force that they eventually became. And, it was the matchup with Michael. We didn't always guard one another, but there were always moments in the game in which I would do something and then he'd come back and he'd do something to top it. And then I might go down and do something to top what he did. And then he'd go down and do something to top what I did or whatever. So it was definitely a changing of the guard during that time. A passing of the torch is a better way to look at it. And he was a great guy to pass it to.
That's awesome. That's a great anecdote, and thanks for sharing that with us. And my final question for you, as someone growing up who had a dream of playing in the league and playing professional basketball and achieve that goal, what is your biggest piece of advice to the youth when it comes down to goal setting and taking steps towards their dreams?
Well, never give up on your dreams, and I know that, if you dream big, even if you only fulfill part of your dream, you still end up at a pretty significant place beyond where the non-dreamers go.
Gotcha.
So dream big, and don't get frustrated if you don't totally get there. And the last thing you need to do is worry about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Work hard and dream big. Dr. J, thanks so much for your time. Wish you the best safe travels.
All right, thank you.